a dramatic U-turn, US President Donald Trump now says he looks forward to speaking with his quote-unquote very good friend Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the coming weeks. Trump said he feels certain that Washington and Delhi will reach a quote-unquote successful conclusion on trade. Now, in a post made on Truth Social, the US President has written, let me quote him here, that I am pleased to announce that India and the United States of America are continuing negotiations to address the trade barriers between our two nations. I look forward to speaking with my very good friend Prime Minister Modi in the upcoming weeks. I feel certain that there will be no difficulty in coming to a successful conclusion for both of our great countries. That's what Donald Trump has written on his Truth Social profile. Prime Minister Modi also replied to this post of President Donald Trump through a tweet that he made on his social media profile X. He said that India and the US are natural partners and that he was looking forward to meet Donald Trump. Prime Minister Modi exactly wrote, and let me quote the lines from his tweet here, that India and the US are close friends and natural partners. I am confident that our trade negotiations will pave the way for unlocking the limitless potential of India-US partnership. Our teams are working to conclude these discussions at the earliest. I am also looking forward to speaking with President Trump. We will work together to secure a brighter, more prosperous future for both of our people. Trump's rhetoric towards India has now toned down after New Delhi's participation in the recent SCO summit in Tianjin, China, where pictures of Modi, Putin and Xi underscoring their bonhomie went massively viral on social media. And now this U-turn taken by US President Donald Trump. We got the new post coming in on his Truth Social profile a couple of days ago. We also heard him saying that he shares very good friendship with Prime Minister Modi, which will not be affected, and that it remains very stern even amidst the tariff tensions. This is the dramatic U-turn taken by US President Donald Trump. He is now looking forward to speak with his quote-unquote very good friend Prime Minister Modi in the coming weeks, and also is very certain that Washington and Delhi will reach a quote-unquote successful conclusion on trade. Without any delay, Prime Minister Modi also replied to the post that came in from Donald Trump on Truth Social. Now, Prime Minister replied through a tweet. He said that he is also looking forward to meet and speak with Trump. He tweeted that India and US are close friends and natural partners. Also, that Prime Minister Modi is extremely confident that the negotiations will pave the way for unlocking the limitless potential of the India-US partnership. Prime Minister Modi also called India and the US close friends and natural partners. He also highlighted how the teams are working to conclude these discussions at the earliest, and how he is also looking forward to speak with President Trump. Prime Minister Modi also underlined that we will work together to secure a brighter, more prosperous future for both of our people. My colleague Ishita Mitra is joining us on the phone line to provide us more context. Ishita, certainly a U-turn taken by US President Donald Trump over there after he sort of showed the white flag of losing India and Russia to deeper, darker China. And now from past 1 week, we have heard him how he has toned down the rhetoric against India.
Right, actually, certainly U.S. President Donald Trump has dialed down his rhetoric. He's become softer when it comes to his stand towards India and, of course, the ongoing trade negotiations. We've seen earlier statements coming in where he's called Indian economy a dead economy. He's been quoting, saying that we've lost India to deepest, darkest China. But now, suddenly, Prime Minister Modi, again, is a very good friend, is a very great leader. And we've seen this, sort of a U-turn and this change in tone coming in from from the U.S. president. Of course, this comes after the SCO summit where we saw Indian Prime Minister, laughing and sharing this quick huddle with the Chinese president and the Russian president. This, of course, has set a change in the tone of U.S. president, and now we're seeing statements where we could see both the sides try to find a common ground, try to balance out their domestic interests, and then finalize a deal as well. So if we talk about the latest statement that has come up, Donald Trump here said that they're continuing the negotiations on the trade front. He said that he looks forward to speaking with the Indian Prime Minister in the coming weeks, to which, of course, the Indian Prime Minister responded warmly and reciprocated those sentiments coming in from the U.S. President, saying that India and U.S., they're both close friends, they're natural partners, and he's very confident about the trade negotiations. I think one takeaway from this is that at this point, one needs to understand that both the countries need to take a mature approach towards these trade negotiations, because both are, one is the largest democracy, one is the oldest democracy, and both are great economies as well. So they need each other in some aspect. So I think that realization has sort of set in with the leaders, of course, with the U.S. president, in fact, in this case, and now we are seeing a change in tone, in fact.
Absolutely, Ishita. Also, if I could ask you, since Donald Trump has changed the rhetoric against India, and we have heard him, saying it again and again that he is very good friends with Prime Minister Modi, and now Prime Minister Modi also saying that India and US are natural partners. Amidst all of that, we are looking at Peter Navarro, who happens to be Trump's aide, not backing out. He is criticizing India on a daily basis. Now he is saying that India needs US schools, India needs US, but they are forgetting that you also need India.
Of course, we have seen, while Donald Trump has changed his tone, Peter Navarro continues his anti-India rant on social media sites. And I think, that's sort of this old classic carrot and stick policy, or, a good boss, bad boss policy, where Donald Trump tries to come up and, changes his tone. But the anti-India rant from the Navarro side, who is, of course, a trade advisor to the president, continues. So remember, this cannot happen without a green light from the U.S. president. So this is part of pressure tactics that when they go to the negotiating table with the U.S., those facts that Peter Navarro keeps on reiterating, that, there's a high trade deficit that India shares with the U.S., that India is a country that's costing American jobs, and that how India is funding Putin's war. So all of those claims, Peter Navarro keeps on repeating them on social media site. Even today we saw a series of posts coming in from Navarro. So this is a classic policy where, Donald Trump acts as a good guy and Peter Navarro acts as the bad one. And they continue the pressure tactics so that when they go to the negotiating table, they have an upper hand, in fact.